A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share the videos.
4 arrested for selling pangolin for money in China. Conservationists estimate that 100,000 pangolins are smuggled every year.
They are considered a delicacy in some Asian cultures and used for traditional medicine. The animal is protected under an international treaty.
The arrests occurred after a tip-off led the hawks to the suspect's vehicle. The suspects were taken into custody and the pangolin was recovered.
PICS Four tries to sell pangolin for money. It is a sad story. Roby, a local farmer, tries to sell pangolin for money.
Apparently, he is getting less money than he should. But there are good reasons why he wants to sell the animal.
For starters, the animal is an endangered species. Its plight is a good way to raise money for his family.
You can also buy pangolin oil and other products from online vendors. The black market trade in pangolins is widespread in Asia, especially in China, due to high demand for the animal's scales.
Some markets even sell the pangolin whole, both dead and alive, for medicinal purposes and as exotic food. Despite the animal's plight, scales account for around 20% of its weight.
The animal curls up into a ball when it feels threatened, a characteristic that helps it avoid being hunted by hunters. David Attenborough has long championed the animal's protection.
Illicit international trade in pangolins. China is a major source and transit route for illegal international trade in pangolins.
These animals originate from 17 countries, most of which are in Africa. Seizures were concentrated in southwest China, especially in the cities of Fengchenggang, Dahong, and Guangzhou.
There are some important conservation measures that can be taken to combat this growing problem. One way to stop the illegal trade in pangolins is to protect these animals.
To combat the illegal trade, local communities must play a major role. Training and information campaigns are effective tools for influencing higher levels of the trade chain.
For example, targeted training can be used to influence law enforcement along the trade routes and to educate local people about the illegality of pangolin trafficking. By educating local communities about the trade and the wider network of organized crime, local stakeholders can be better able to protect the animals.
Despite the global embargo, detections of pangolins are on the rise. In China alone, interceptions of pangolins have increased by more than threefold since 2005.
Increased levels of international trade may provide an opportunity for money laundering. Meanwhile, the rapidly evolving nature of online illegal wildlife trade may encourage increased international pangolin trade.
The global pangolin trade may increase dramatically, despite the embargo. Over the past decade, interceptions of pangolins in China have increased, resulting in a 90% decline in Chinese pangolin populations.
Although the trade is primarily driven by commercial trade and ethnic design, China has made progress in curbing illegal wildlife trade in the country. In spite of these efforts, annual smuggling incidents have remained high.
While this trend continues, there is much to be learned. Threats to pangolin populations.
Illegal hunting and poaching pose the primary threat to the population of pangolins. Their scales are valued for traditional medicine in many Asian countries, and their meat is a popular source of protein.
While most pangolins are illegally killed for their meat, some are also used for other purposes, including black market trade. Because of this threat, more efforts are needed to stop pangolin poaching.
High levels of pangolin offtake are threatening the population of 3 species, the Philippine pangolin and the Sunda pangolin. China has banned the trade of certain species and is transferring the pangolins from a state Category II to a Category I protected species.
Both of these threats threaten the existence of subpopulations, and they are largely confined to a small area. While the black-bellied and Temminck's pangolins are currently classified as vulnerable, other species are under threat as well.
Poaching and illegal trade are the primary reasons for the decline of pangolin populations in Africa and Asia. In fact, deforestation is projected to affect the populations of black-bellied and Sunda pangolins.
Although this may be an isolated incident, the implications for the species are still unclear. More research is needed to identify the causes of the pangolin population declines and mitigate the threats to these species.
The biggest threat to pangolin populations in Africa is habitat loss. Due to increasing human populations, the African continent is experiencing a massive decline in natural resources.
Improved logistics have also contributed to the decline of pangolin populations. With better infrastructure, people can easily access previously inaccessible areas.
Overutilization of the environment can lead to mines, agriculture, and settlements. It is imperative to protect the pangolins from these threats.
Cost of pangolin meat. The price of pangolin meat has increased dramatically over the past few years, mostly due to the demand in Asia.
Demand for pangolin meat has increased at a faster pace than the population can reproduce, which is threatening the Asian pangolin population. In addition, cultural traditions in Asia place value on pangolin products.
These products may also be contributing to the rapid increase in the population. In many Asian countries, the cost of pangolin meat can exceed $1,000 a kilogram.
In the 1960s, Chinese state agencies estimated that over 160,000 pangolins were killed in Asia each year. The scales from these animals were sold for as much as $200 a kilogram.
In the early 21st century, the price of scales increased from $300 per kilogram to $600 a kilogram. In Vietnam, a kilogram of scales sold for $250.
That is an outrageous price for these animals, despite global bans on pangolin meat. Illegal trade has continued to thrive.
Reporters filmed middlemen in Asia, Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Vietnam, and China to investigate the illegal trade in pangolin. This investigation exposed a thriving black market that thrives far from public view and threatens the survival of the endangered species.
This meat is expensive for consumers, but the benefits are far more profound, and the price of pangolin meat is increasing.
However, the ethical and humane price is not high enough to offset the environmental impact of the meat. The economic situation in China is complicated by the fact that the average income for an individual is only $20.
However, the income and education of individuals in China are closely linked to the consumption of pangolin meat. With new wealth comes an influx of illegal wildlife into the country.
But there are also studies linking the consumption of pangolin scales with human health. It is unknown whether this newfound wealth will have any lasting impact.
Traditional Asian medicine uses of pangolin scales. The Chinese government recently removed pangolin scales from its list of approved ingredients for traditional Asian medicines.
This ad ban is meant to protect these animals from further degradation. The pangolin is the world's only scaly mammal, and its scales are highly prized in traditional Asian medicine.
In fact, pangolins are among the most heavily traded mammal species in the world, with more than 130 tons of pangolin products confiscated in China last year alone. That's equivalent to about 400,000 animals being killed to make pangolin scale products.
While the Chinese government has banned commercial trade in pangolin scales, it is allowing pharmaceutical companies to use these animal parts from its national stockpile, which is shrouded in secrecy. Furthermore, the Chinese medical insurance system reimburses users of traditional medicines made with pangolin scales.
However, the ban has little effect on the illegal trade of pangolin scales. As a result, the EIA report found a huge gap in Chinese enforcement.
Despite this saga, Chinese authorities are urging all countries to remove pangolin scales from their official traditional medicine list. However, this is not enough, because the pangolin is still heavily trafficked in the wild.
In fact, the pangolin is currently the world's most highly trafficked mammal. Conservation groups are hailed the decision as a positive step to counter the illegal trade.
Despite the ban on trade, the pangolin is still widely used for medicinal purposes in China and Vietnam. A large quantity of pangolin scales is exported from Java. But recently, the Chinese government has banned the capture and export of pangolin scales from Java, and this will surely turn their attention back to the native product.